6.3 is about using the percent proportion. So the percent proportion is where we find out what percent a part of a whole is. And there's a couple things in life that you'll use this for. Right now, let's say that you know there are 50 questions on a test and you know you want to get a 90%. Before you take that test, you can think, oh, this is how many I have to get correct to earn that 90%. Or this A or this part of a whole is what I would need to get this percent I want. Okay? So there's an example of how to set it up right here. But we are going to go through 4 different examples. A really important thing to remember is when you hear the word is, that is on top of the word of. And is over of equals percent over 100. If you can remember to use this, this will be easy for you. Okay, so really think to yourself. Is over of equals percent over 100. And is represents our part, and of represents our whole. Okay, so now we're going to try using the percent equation, and I remember that is on top of, or we can look at this as is. The part is over the of, which is the whole, and that equals percent, which I'm going to actually represent with a P for percent, over 100. Okay, so we're going to take this information now and we're going to solve a couple of these. Make sure that you put this in your notes. So first thing I'm going to just do is read it. What percent of 24 is 12? Well, I can see right here it says what percent. Whatever it's asking for, like what percent, that's what you don't know. So I don't know what my P is. I do know that percent is always over 100, so this 100 will always be there. Now the next thing it says, so I did my what percent, so what percent of 24, so of 24, so 24 is my of, and then it says is 12, so 12 goes in the is spot. Okay, so now I've set up my percent proportion. From here I simply solve using cross products. Okay, so we know that 24 times P so we know that 24 times P is, so we have 24 times P, so we're multiplying these two, is equal to 12 times 100. Now I'm trying to solve for P, so I need to get P by itself. So now I have 24P is equal to 1200 because 12 times 100 is 1200. Alright, now to get P by itself, since I have 24 times P, I have to divide by 24. And if I divide by 24 on this side, I have to do the same thing on that side. So we are going to divide by 24. We are going to divide by 24. And that is going to give us an answer of P equals 50. Now because what we were missing was our percent, we know that P is equal to 50%. Okay? I don't have enough room to write in these boxes, so I'm going to add in these little boxes right here, and that's what I need you to put in your notes. So for this spot right here, you should have all of this information. Okay, this is the next problem in your notes. I just wrote it out because I was running out of room. Okay, so the question is 8 is what? 8 is 4% of what number? So the first thing I can see is it says 8 is. So I know my is. 4%. So I have 4%. So I know that that's my 4 over 100 because it's always over 100. And it says 8 is 4% of what number? I don't know my of, so that's going to be represented with an X. Okay, now I use cross products to solve. We multiply those two, and we multiply those two. So 4 times X is equal to 8 times 100. So we have 4x is equal to 800. And then to get x by itself, or solve for x, we have to divide both sides by 4. So x is equal to 200. So 200 is my answer. When it says 8 is 4% of what number? It's the number 200. Okay? Let's try the next two. Okay, so I have my percent proportion set up. It says 18 is, so I have my 18. What percent? I don't know my percent, so I put a P, that's over 100, and it says of 40. So I have my of right here, my of is 40, so I need to make sure that it says 40. From here, I use my cross products to solve. So it's 40 times P equals 18 times 100. Okay? So we know that 18 times 100 is 18,000, and 40 times P is just 40P. Okay, now I have to solve to get P by itself. I see here it's 40 times P, so I have to divide both sides by 40. Divide by 40. And I am left with P is equal to 45. Okay, so P is equal to 45. Let's try the next two. Okay, so if we look here, it says, what is, we don't know our what, because it says, what is? So our is going to be an X. And then it says, what is 8%? We know our percent is 8, and again, that's always over 100. So what is 8% of 10? And my 10 is of. From here, we use cross products to solve. So 8 times 10 is equal to x times 100. So we have 8 times 10 is equal to 100 times x. 8 times 10 is 80. 100 times x is 100x. Now to get x by itself, we have to divide both sides by 100. All right, and 80 divided by 100 is 0.8, so 0.8 is equal to x. So what is 8% of 10? 0.8. All right, let's try this last one. It says 10 is, so we know our is 10. What percent, so we do not know our percent, so we're going to put in our P over 100. 10 is what percent of 30. So our of is 30. Now we just use cross products to solve. So 30 times P is equal to 10 times 100. So 10 times 100, okay? So 10 times 100 is equal to 1,000, all right? And 30 times P is just 30 times P. Now I need to get P by itself to figure out what my percent is. So since I have 30 times P, I have to divide both sides by 30 because that is the opposite. So now I'm left with P is equal to 1,000 divided by 30 is 33.3. And since I'm looking for the percent, I know that it is 33%. Okay? Make sure you get this all in your notes, and when you have your notes done, your second step is to come check in with me before you start anything else. Okay? I know this was a long video, so good job hanging in there.